TYT Sports, Jason Rubin here, joined by Francis Maxwell over in Glasgow, Scotland, off to see a mighty Glasgow Celtic match.
Good. Going to see the Glasgow Celtic. Not seen them in many years. Going to take a trip back there. Hopefully I'll get noticed by a couple of the Celtic fans and might sign a couple of jerseys. Who am I kidding? No one's going to fucking notice me.
Maybe Snoop Dogg will be there.
Snoop Dogg will be there with his Celtic shirt, and then he'll change, wear a Rangers shirt, then he'll change, wear a Man United shirt, and then he'll change, because according to many fans, Snoop Dogg ain't loyal when it comes to Celtic teams. When it comes to football teams, sorry.
Hoes ain't loyal, Francis, and you know that. So, what are we talking about? Bundesliga. I can't believe I almost totally forgot what the clip was going to be about. Bundesliga preview. Again, La Liga fans, calm yourselves. All of you. I read all the comments, so does Francis, so does everyone on TYT Sports. We are fully aware we will bring you La Liga previews when La Liga is around the corner. But right now, Bundesliga's coming, so Bundesliga's fans, rejoice. Here to talk about some Bayern, some Wolfsburg, some Dortmund. But let's start off with the Bundesliga top goal scorer predictions. We did this for the Premier League. We'll do it for La Liga as well, even though there's really not that much competition besides Ronaldo and Messi in La Liga. Here we have, according to Bet365, the odds for who will finish atop the leaderboard on Bundesliga top goal scorers. Lewandowski.
Wow. It's like Thomas Müller already. I can see a fantastic outside bet for him. Thomas Müller is always a player you expect to come up big for the goals. But Bas Dost, obviously, of Wolfsburg, 26-1. That's a good odd for him. Marco Reus, 17-1 of Dortmund, depending on them having a good start to the season. Obviously, last season, things didn't go exactly to plan from the get-go. Thomas Müller just said, that's my bet. Don't steal it, Jason. I'm going to stick $10 probably on him. That's not a bad bet for 150 to come back. Klaus Huntelaar, always a good goal scorer. Goes through his spells of being hot and cold, but he's definitely found a home in the Bundesliga. Say that last name, Jason. I'll give you $5 if you say it right.
Which one?
The Patrick Aubameyang.
Aubameyang. Come on. I played on FIFA 15.
Say it the way the guy in the FIFA comment. Say it the way the FIFA commentator says it.
A boomerang?
No, he always the guy in FIFA always overemphasizes it. It's like Aubameyang.
Well, we got every syllable correctly emphasized. But really no love for Lewandowski and Robin are the two outright favorites. Not surprising, but Robin has struggled with fitness in the past. Lewandowski seems to play and stays fit for most of the season, but a lot of those guys, even Dost too, really injury-prone guys. So I guess Mueller is a great outside bet because he seems to stay fit. And I truly feel like this can cross to really any sport. If you stay on the field or stay on the court, probably have a better chance of scoring more points, goals, runs, whatever sport it might be. So Marco Reus I do hope to see back, though, and fit for the whole year. I think he's so much fun to watch. I like Dortmund's style of play, at least any time I've watched them. And mark down October 3rd, on the calendars, Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern Munich in one of the first big rivalry games of the season. But Francis, I want a little bit of info on Bayern Munich here, a little bit of preview on them. They are the outright favorites to win the Bundesliga, and not surprising, they came off winning their League Cup and tried to make a run in the Champions League. What does it mean for Bayern Munich this year before we get into a few teams who can challenge Bayern Munich for that top spot?
Well, of course, Bastian Schweinsteiger on his way out, loyal player for Bayern Munich. And who could they replace him with again? Oh, yeah, the favourite haircut that you so obviously admire, Jason, is Arturo Vidal. Now, I'm so excited to see him play in the Bundesliga, so excited to see him play in a Bayern Munich team. Not because I'm a Bayern Munich fan or anything, hold your horses, Dortmund or Wolfsburg fanboys. It's just exciting to see Vidal in that system, because if I was to think of Vidal from a managerial standpoint, what system would he fit into? I think he would absolutely fit into Bayern Munich over anyone else, because he's box-to-box, hard-working, combines with goals, assists, and I just think that the way that they focus on that counter-attacking football while staying compact when defending, Vidal fits in like a glove. So it's exciting to see whether he partners in there with Xabi Alonso, whether Philip Lahm comes into the midfield and plays with maybe a Lahm, Alonso, and Vidal playing the more attacking role, or if Goetze is going to play more this season, which a lot of Bayern Munich fans will look to see, because many people call him overrated. Many people say that he's not happy at Munich because he didn't play as much last season. I want to see the Mario Götze that's played with Dortmund play with Munich. I want to see that drive. I want to see that aggression. I want to see the anticipation going forward. And I want to just see more quality from him, because he is obviously still young, but he's got that just unique sense of being in a goal-scoring position for a midfielder. We've seen it none more so than in the World Cup final, a fantastic run, control and finish, which was one of the most memorable goals of any World Cup, I have to say. So I'm excited to see them play. But overall, my overall perspective for Bayern Munich and how I think they'll be a successful season, both in Bundesliga and Champions League play, keep your wingers fit. Far too often we see Robben and Ribery out. Guardiola even turns to the medical staff and was complaining because he just didn't think that his top-class wingers were fit enough throughout the season. They took a long while to get the likes of Ribery back and to get Robben back. So the thing with Bayern Munich is it's a very compact in the middle, but their outlets are wide. Robben is a straight outlet from the back. Ribery is a straight outlet cutting in onto his right foot, and they link up well. And when they're all on the field together, especially Lewandowski, he thrives more so than anyone else. And the final point is Müller, right? So Müller's probably hands down one of the hardest players in the world to mark because no one knows where he's playing. He's sometimes off the striker, he's sometimes dropped deep, he's sometimes played wide right, and that's why I think he's a good bet for anyone, whether it's a World Cup, a Champions League, or a Bundesliga, to be top goal scorer because he comes up with important goals all the time. He's great in the air. He's just one of the most underrated footballers in the world, I think, and he's held very highly for those who understand the game because his IQ, Jason, is like my fashion IQ. Through the roof.
Okay.
You can't top that, Jason. That's just the best Bayern Munich preview you've ever heard.
That is a very strong, level-headed, fair Bayern Munich preview. But Germany is a rather big country. Francis, would you agree with this? You would.
They're very tall.
Speaking, they're very tall, very strong. Look at the German national team's back four. They look like give me
Transformers.
You can't just use Transformers for everything.
Yeah. They're like the Kentucky starting five of football. Those guys.
They're all 7 feet tall.
Yeah, they're huge.
So we move forward. There are teams who obviously can challenge Bayern for a Bundesliga title. There's teams at the bottom of the table who definitely cannot. But Dortmund, of course, being one of them, Borussia Dortmund, and as well as Wolfsburg, any other teams that can challenge Bayern, and also let's hear a little bit about Dortmund, what they can do this year with Marco Reus and Wolfsburg with the loss of, and let's see if I can do this, Kevin De Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne. So it's hard for teams like Wolfsburg because if they're not losing their best players to someone like Bayern Munich, who are going to come in for the biggest players and try and cherry pick some of the best players in the league, they need to hold on to their players such as De Bruyne with world-class talent to outside buys from teams like Chelsea and Manchester City are trying to come in and pick their talent apart. Last season, I thought they were fantastic going forward, but I was kind of highly critical of the way that they structured their defensive lineup against weaker opponents. That's where I think they fell short, and none more so than in the Europa League. That team should have won that competition. Come on. They were frighteningly good going forward with De Bruyne, with obviously Bas Dost in the score sheet week in, week out, with Schürrle up there. They were frighteningly good going forward, but then when they come up against lesser opponents, specifically in the Europa League, they just played down to their opponents, and they lost far too many occasions. I just felt they were very similar to like a Napoli of Italy, where they have so much talent, but they just never got over that line. And we've seen some occasions where they destroyed Bayern Munich and they were on form, and you're thinking, all right, here we go. We've got a good competitive team to try and give Bayern Munich a run for their money. But this season, I don't think they've strengthened as much as they should have done with the transfer rumours surrounding De Bruyne. They need to think about how they can potentially fit their team around a new star to bring in. And I still think that Schürrle, again in similar category with Müller, is one of the most underrated players, I think, in the world. Because Schürrle, as we've seen in the World Cup again, I hate to go back a couple of years, but that was with him on form. That was how deadly he can be. But most of my input, I would say, in the Bundesliga has to go towards Dortmund, because from a neutral fan of the Bundesliga, it was never more fun than when Borussia Dortmund made a resurgence back to the Champions League final, to when they were winning the Bundesliga, to when they were pushing Bayern Munich to be the best team in Germany. And that Borussia Dortmund team were fearless, but they were so strong at the back. When they had Hummels back there with Subotic and Piszczek at the back, I just felt that they were frighteningly good going forward, but also they didn't look like they were going to concede many goals. And I think this is way back to their goalkeeper. I thought that last season he let up far too many unforced errors. I just didn't think they looked confident. And that disastrous start of the season just pushed them, obviously, they turned things around after Christmas. But I think in the Bundesliga, you can't give Bayern Munich that amount of time to strengthen their league, because they're far too good, far too consistent to allow them to do that. So this season, with maybe a fully fit Marco Reus and Aubameyang was picking up form towards the end, I really do hope that Borussia Dortmund get back to their winning ways, where they're able to not be feared of, be scared, of the likes of Bayern Munich. And because I love Borussia Dortmund fans, I know I'm rambling on. I know Jason's probably doing the sleeping face, which he might be doing at the moment. But Borussia Dortmund remind me a lot of their fans, like Celtic fans. They are diehard. They need their team to do well. They thrive off of that. And I think as a neutral football fan, I just want Borussia Dortmund to be back as a title challenger this year, and I would love to see it.
And time.
How did that go?
That was fantastic. I feel like I just learned a whole lot of information. Even though
I remember the question you asked me there about any other teams that can give them a run outside. It's when you've got teams like Schalke who are trying to hold on to their players like Julian Draxler, who is one of these players that's never really hit the heights everyone's expected him to, but he's essential for Schalke. You get teams like Juventus who are trying to come in and maybe snatch him away. They're always there or thereabouts, and they've always got the ability to try and overthrow the teams like Bayern Munich in a one-off occasion. But what the Bundesliga comes down to is consistency. I talked about it there. It's not just a word that I throw out because it's safe. It's because it's the most accurate description of what Bayern Munich do well. They're so consistent. They rarely lose to the low-level teams. And when they do lose, it's against the teams like Wolfsburg, who are going to beat them 4-1 and be devastating. But you have to be devastating to beat a Bayern Munich team, especially this Bayern Munich team, who have only further strengthened.
Yeah. So it does seem like, again, Schalke, all the love in the world, looking to fight for that fourth spot, not that first spot. Real quick, yes or no question, Francis. Will Bayern win the treble?
I thought you were just going to say, will Bayern win the Bundesliga? And I was going to be like, yep. Will Bayern obviously win the double, domestic double? Yep. Will Bayern Munich win the Champions League? Man, that is an early thing to put me on the plate, Jason. I've not even seen some of the competition, but I'm not a guy to shy away from a question. I'm not a guy to shy away from a question. No. I think that this season might be one of the first that we've seen in a while, and I think we're going to see a Barcelona back-to-back Champions League trophy.
Wow. Okay. Well,
but that's early, so maybe this clip can just slip away after we see Barcelona maybe struggle, and I'll just be like, I never said that. What clip was it in? Was it in the Champions League preview? No. And then some random's going to be like, it was in the Bundesliga preview. Check it out at 2 minutes, 46 seconds.
Well, like, try 9 minutes, 27 seconds, but yes. So Bayern will not win the treble. For what I know here, I don't think they win it either. But that's just me. That is just me.
Never count them out, especially a fully fit Bayern Munich. They keep Robin Ribery fit. You never know.
But that's one of the major reasons is they don't stay healthy. If they are healthy, like any great team in the history of sports, you tend to do well. So there you have it. That is the Bundesliga preview. Bundesliga fans, rejoice! Who's winning? Who's winning the Bundesliga? Who's winning the Bundesliga not named Bayern? Because I swear there's going to be 200 comments that say, FC Bayern, duh. Who's going to lead the Bundesliga in goal scoring? Who are you putting your money on? Follow Francis at Francis_Maxwell, myself at JasonRubin91, and at TYT Sports. Don't forget to subscribe. La Liga previews are coming. I swear. So does Francis.